Web3 branding, you have a little more room, I think, to get creative. Take a number of opportunities to poll the community. You're showing up as the whole package. You have your voice, how you're talking about things, how you're educating.
Is there anything different about branding in emerging tech over sort of Web 2 or sort of TradFi areas? And if not, what are the most important things regardless?
Yeah, I think that a big difference is for one reason or another, a lot of things are purple. And that's fine. um, but I do
Purple?
think though it's just so purpley. Purple, a lot of purple. But moving past that, and I'm not trying to say that if you have purple that you're doing something wrong. It's just that Web3 branding, you have a little more room, I think, to get creative, even if you have a product that is focused more on the institutional side. These different groups are working with something that's a little more exciting and has a unique emerging tech element. So I just encourage teams and founders to really think about what their visual identity, what the visual representation of what they're doing truly is, and enjoy using a little bit of color, enjoy employing like a dynamic experience on the website that still clearly communicates things. And really, I've seen some incredible results from this. When we shifted, I think it was actually with Shardium not too long ago, from our old branding to our new branding, and didn't even really announce anything because usually it's not necessarily a newsworthy moment. You'll know that better than me. No one, why would they care? There's a different color. But
Mhm.
just from the different design and sort of the flow of the website, we saw double the number of visitors on that day, and nothing else was really happening that day. So I would just encourage founders and teams to not undervalue that, because it's still you're showing up as the whole package. You have your voice, how you're talking about things, how you're educating, who you are at events, and also the colors and really look and feel of your project is very, very important. So don't get lost in the shuffle and make sure it actually means something to you instead of defaulting to the usual little tech figures, or some of the other things that we see across the board when it comes to brands.
In a space where there's a lot of people, a lot of imitators, how difficult is it to switch branding? Because obviously, like, we're in a space where every single Twitter X thread has to end with "this is the end of the thread" because the amount of scams that are going to come after it. If you're moving from a recognized brand to a new thing, is there anything you need to think about how you do that?
Yeah, I would come up with, as everyone probably knows at this point, I'm a big fan of plans and outlines, with goals around that. So I would just come up with an easy plan. It doesn't have to be too complicated, around how you can sort of let people know that you're going to change some things. You can let them know that you want to become something that better represents the community and who you are and what you're doing. So that way it's just
Hmm.
not, no one's being blindsided. And when it does come
Hmm.
out, you can be like, hey, we created this to better serve you by XYZ. You can
Hmm.
find the educational materials a little more easily. It's colorful and more vibrant, just like our project and who we are.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that kind of surface level, but it gives the idea of why you've done something, and it all should be really for the community, which is what the branding is all about.
And then
But
people can go. So I was gonna say, then people can go back and check that you've posted
exactly,
for months about it.
exactly that. So they have a point of reference there, and in terms of people kind of being shocked by something, or a lot of times communities don't necessarily handle change well. I think a key part of this, and what we did at Shardium as well, was take a number of opportunities to poll the community. So I had the overall kind of creative vision and direction for what made sense for the project, but there were key points where we asked the community, do you like this color or that color or this one?
Hmm.
And they can weigh in. Or do you like this sort of outline with these types of shapes of logo, or that one? And it was surprising. Like, people just want to feel like they're a part of it. And then that way they are. It's, they
Hmm.
truly are shaping that part of your identity with you. And a lot of the brands that, from a starting point, I've seen are so neutral and so similar to all these other brands, that once you innovate and create something special, I've seen it be very well received, which is exciting.
really great advice, because it does, and especially from from a journalistic point of view as well. If you don't get that right, it can be really disorientating. I remember when Arve introduced Avara as the new head company of the group, and I was really confused for a good hour or so when I'm looking to whether it needs to be reported on or not, because I thought they'd actually changed, they'd dropped Arve. I thought they were dropping the ghost, and I'm like, no, don't drop the ghost. I love the ghost,
Yeah, you're like,
because
that
it kind of
guy's
came out of
great.
nowhere. Like you said, like I think if they had just yes, you want that shock value to try and get attention, but I think there's a lot to be said in this space of just creating that plan, teasing things out, so that everyone knows where they stand with it. And the thing, getting people involved. I mean, how many parts of the space are involved with DAOs now? So if it's not a DAO, doesn't mean you still can't have a sort of DAO-like mentality and trying to improve things.
Exactly. Like if they had polled the community, maybe they did, I didn't see it, but hey, here's our ghost. Should we keep him or not? I feel like a lot of people would have engaged, and that could have been a
Yeah.
big opportunity to not only tease that there might be changes coming, but show everyone how much they love the little ghost and have kind of Ave and everything top of mind for a little bit. But those are the
Mm-hmm.
types of opportunities I think you can really where you can involve the community in the creative process and build even more of that kind of excitement and feeling of camaraderie of building something together, which you really are.
And I think that's just really smart. Like, even if you were never planning on getting rid of the ghost, if you can sense check through your plan, people might think we are if we don't do it right. You play on that.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, we now have a strong data point. So if one day a founder wakes up and is like, I hate the ghost today, you're like, no, we actually all love it. We actually have data behind that. And the ghost lives or dies,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.